Considering the game that this boss is in, I'm surprised it exists at all, because as we've seen from all the other Halo games, putting bosses into them is a science too advanced. Well, here it is, the final boss of Halo Spartan Assault, Merg, some sort of cult leader seeking to use a Forerunner planet cracker to destroy Daedalus 5, or whatever the hell it's called. He really boils down to just Barbarian King of the Elite, since one of his attacks is dual-wielding energy swords, which would be great if they were at all dangerous to avoid, but he gets more traction out of his annoying as shit plasma pistol than those things. The battle also adds in that wonderful gameplay mechanic of infinitely spawning enemies, with Mergfall's adds being an entire platoon of jackals. And even if this was set in Halo 2, it'd still be annoying as all hell, because they would be coming in 3 at a time no matter how many you've killed. Then there's the fact that you have to take out Mergfall's health bar 4 times! 4 goddamn times. And what is the worst about this fight? Mergfall steps out of the battlefield to activate his Forerunner crystal ball, then multiply into 4 clones, and then get into a health regenerator. I have no idea what you're supposed to be doing with all these clones. Are we supposed to be destroying all the regenerators? Are we supposed to use the turret lasers to kill them? What the fuck is going on with this stuff? And then you realize after surviving for too long that all this dancing around was a rickroll. You were just supposed to stay alive until you've killed him 4 times and then let the lasers take him out. If there's one word I'd call the Mergfall fight, it's uninspired irritants. His fight is filled with additional challenge that just serves to piss off players with a flimsy excuse of providing ammunition. And the interesting parts of the fight with the phase changes are totally confusing and ultimately pointless stage work because it's a survival fight that runs too long. If you want to put in some extra effort into a fight to create these animations for no reason, how about budgeting that time into developing a second ability for him to use in battle, turn down the jackal spawning to 1 or 2 at a time, and then maybe it would have been at the very least bearable. Now, before I played Halo Spartan Assault, I was a fan of downloadable extras as a concept, and I'm sure a lot of you out there were as well when DLC was first becoming a thing. Extra support and gameplay months after a game launches, hell yeah, I was on board, and DLC for me has been good so far. That's until this little guy came up in the list and was on the Steam listings at $5. I'd picked up somewhat cheap games from Steam before that were good, so I said what the hell, it'd probably be decent, my naive self said 4 hours ago. Now that I'm finished with the game, I wondered why 343 Industries ever bothered. This isn't the same situation as ODST, where Bungie was putting out a game because the spread between 3 and Reach was so wide, so 343 haven't been in need for a distraction. Whatever, let's actually get into what the game's about. Halo Spartan Assault is a downloadable title for PC and Xbox that's set in the Halo storyline as a twin-stick shooter. It's got the usual character types fighting a war for the benefit of those with short attention spans. Before I picked this up, I had no idea what a twin-stick shooter was. I knew it had to be straightforward, and I'm assuming that the good entrants in the genre would be able to prove that, but Halo Spartan Assault lacks one thing that cripples it from the word go: and targeting system. It didn't need to have a whole Ocarina of Time L targeting system, but a nice reticle would have been nice. The slippery shooting controls are so ridiculous that in the early levels I ended up using the grenade throwing button as an aiming system before I figured out what the controls were, since Spartan Assault falls into the MGS3 trap of not having a tutorial, leaving you to rely on a diegetic understanding from past Halo games to get it to even function. You get used to the bad control system to some degree, since the enemy AI is absolute pants-on head, arm-flailing village idiot, but then you get to the vehicles. The Ghost runs perfectly fine, the Wraith is a bit slow, but the Scorpion tank is atrocious. It reminds me of getting into tanks from CoD 2 or 3 where the turret and treads are separate controls, and it feels like you're trying to control a forklift sitting on a lazy Susan. Speaking of early Call of Duty, that's exactly what Halo Spartan Assault is. Call of Duty 2's story with a sci-fi coding and a bit of Black Ops DS thrown in because fuck it. The story centers on an unnamed character watching simulations of the battles that saved Daedalus 5 from destruction by Covenant Sect. After we throw the "it's all a dream" stakes out the window, we're dropped into a character we're never introduced to, never told why they're important to exist, and just told to run around and get shit done. Blow up some turrets, go rescue some soldiers, shoot a guy in the head. Flimsy excuses for gameplay right out of the early Infinity Ward textbook. The very reason for Spartan Assault's development still baffles me because this kind of game only works as an episodic title. The old more games made shorter for less money idea. Spartan Assault boils down to a badly thought out, non-effort episodic game in all but name that fails in having decent gameplay or a story to liven up the 3 hours necessary to play it, with the only thing gotten out of it is getting that dumbass guy saying dog over and over again stuck in your head. I'm ticked off now, so I'm just gonna end the video with a short victory for gamers.